You know that feeling. You meet someone new, you go to introduce yourself in English,
Mm-hmm.
and you use those phrases you learned, like, way back. But somehow they just sound a bit clunky.
Oh, yeah, like reading from a script.
Exactly. Like, hello, my name is... It just feels a bit stiff sometimes, doesn't it?
It really does. It's something lots of learners run into. You nail the basics, which is great, but then making it sound, natural,
Hmm.
that's the next step.
Right. It lacks that warmth you often hear when native speakers just chat.
Precisely, that immediate kind of connection.
Okay, so for this deep dive, we've really dug into how to introduce yourself in English in a way that feels more comfortable, more confident.
And memorable, too.
Yeah, memorable.
Yeah.
So the goal here is to give you some really practical tips, drawing from our source material, to help you ditch those robotic intros.
We want you to sound like you naturally belong in the conversation, completely at ease.
And it's interesting, isn't it? It's not just the words.
No, not at all. It's the subtle stuff, the social cues, why certain phrases just work better to build that connection right away.
Okay, let's get into it. Step one, according to the source, is ditching that overly formal greeting.
Right, that, hello, my name is, we mentioned, it's grammatically fine, of course.
But maybe better for an email or a really formal setting.
Exactly. In everyday chat, it can feel a bit distant. Think about how you talk to friends versus, say, a formal interview. Different vibe.
So what are the alternatives? The source gives some nice, simple ones.
Yeah, things like, hey, I'm your name. Simple.
Or, hi there, I'm Name, nice to meet you.
Mm-hmm, that's friendly. Or even, hey, how's it going? I'm Name, by the way.
I like that last one. It feels really casual, like you're just dropping your name into the conversation naturally.
It does. And these work because they signal openness, friendliness. They sort of break the ice immediately.
Creates a warmer starting point.
Yeah, exactly. Less formal, more inviting, which is
Yeah.
pretty common in a lot of English-speaking contexts, that slightly less formal start.
Okay, so we got the greeting sorted. Then it usually moves to where you're from, right?
Often, yeah. People are curious.
But the source warns against, like, giving a whole geography lesson right then and there.
Haha, yeah. Keep it brief and natural. Weave it in.
So how does that sound? The
Yeah.
source had examples like,
Ah, ah,
I'm originally from Istanbul, but I've been living in Berlin for the past 2 years.
nice. Or, I grew up in Nairobi, but these days I'm based in London.
Ooh, based in A. That sounds good.
It does. And there was that other one. I'm from Sao Paulo, Brazil. It's hot, loud, and full of energy.
I love that. It gives you a real flavor, doesn't it? More than just a place name.
Totally. Adds personality.
You mentioned based in. The source also highlights grew up in and originally from. Why are these maybe a bit better than just I live in?
Well, I live in is perfectly fine, very clear, but the others add a bit more nuance, don't they?
Oh, so
Like, based in often suggests where your sort of home base is now, maybe for work or just being settled. Grew up in talks about your past, your roots. And originally from is great if you live somewhere else now, but want to acknowledge where you started.
gotcha. So they just add a little extra layer, make it more like storytelling.
Exactly. More natural.
All right, so casual greeting, check. Where you're from, check. What's usually next? Work. Studies.
Yeah. The what do you do question. And again, the advice is don't just state your job title like it's on a business card.
Make it personal.
Make it personal. Share it in a friendlier way. And importantly, the source acknowledges, maybe you're a student. Maybe you're between jobs. That's totally fine too.
Right. So instead of just, I'm a graphic designer.
You could say something like, I'm a graphic designer. I mostly work on branding for startups. Adds a bit more context.
Or for a student.
I'm currently studying biology at uni, and I'm really getting into genetics. Shows your interest.
What if you're job hunting?
Maybe. Right now, I'm actually exploring a few options, doing a bit of freelance work while I figure out the next step. Sounds much more human, right?
Yeah. Definitely more relatable than just a title.
And the source has this great tip. Try to link what you do to, like, your passion or what you enjoy about it.
Oh, interesting. Like how?
Well, the example was, I work in marketing. I really love the creative side, like coming up with ideas to help brands tell their stories.
Ah, okay. So it's not just what you do, but maybe a hint of why you do it or what part you like.
Exactly. It gives the other person so much more to connect with, opens the door for follow-up questions about what actually interests you.
That makes a lot of sense. It shifts it from just a label to Well, part of your personality,
Mm-hmm.
which actually leads perfectly into the next step the source highlights.
Mm-hmm.
Adding that personal touch. This is the key to being memorable. Okay.
Absolutely. This is where you really let your personality shine through a little bit, beyond the facts, name, origin, job.
So sharing a hobby or maybe something you've been up to recently.
Yeah, exactly. Something that makes you.
Yeah.
That's not just another introduction. It creates a stronger impression.
So instead of just, I like hiking,
Maybe something more like, in my free time, I'm really into hiking and trail running. It's kind of how I clear my head. Adds that personal reason.
or I've recently started trying to cook Indian food.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty chaotic in my kitchen right now, but it's fun.
Love that. Or even, I'm a huge football fan. If it's a Sunday, you'll probably find me watching the match somewhere. Specifics make it real.
And I like that they included examples about learning, too.
Yeah, like right now I'm really focused on improving my English. Or recently I've been reading a lot about mindfulness.
Those feel very relevant, especially if you're meeting people in, say, a learning environment or a new country. Shows you're engaged.
Definitely. And it's that little detail, that one specific thing that can turn a forgettable intro into something that actually sparks a real conversation.
Okay, but it's not just what you say, right?
Yeah.
The source emphasizes how you connect all these pieces, making it flow.
Crucial point. You don't want it to sound like you're just ticking off items on a list.
Greeting, done.
Mhm.
Origin, done. Yeah, not good.
Haha, no. Smooth transitions are really a sign of fluency and just comfort in the conversation. Native speakers link thoughts together pretty seamlessly.
So how do we do that?
Yeah.
Are there phrases that help?
Yeah, the source gives some useful little phrases to sort of wrap up your initial intro part, things like, So yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to.
Or, anyway, that's a little bit about me.
Mm-hmm. Or, I guess that pretty much sums it up for now. Even something like, it's been a fun journey so far.
They sound quite simple, but I can see how they'd work. They kind of signal, okay, I've shared a bit, now over to you. But in a relaxed way.
Exactly. They show you're comfortable, confident, and ready to continue the chat rather than just stopping abruptly.
Right. Now, to pull this all together, the source gave that full example from Layla. Should we run through that?
Yeah, let's hear it. It's a good model.
Okay, she says, hey, I'm Layla. I'm originally from Morocco, but I've been living in Barcelona for the past year.
Nice start. Casual greeting, origin with context.
Then, I work as a freelance video editor, mostly for travel vloggers and small YouTubers, which is super fun.
See? Adds context and enthusiasm about her work, not just the title.
Outside of work, I'm really into photography and street art. I love exploring new neighborhoods and capturing moments. It helps me see things differently.
Great personal touch there, specific interests, and a little why.
Recently, I've also started learning Italian, just for fun. I love languages, and I think it's an awesome way to connect with people.
Another relevant personal detail, linking it back to connection.
And she wraps up with, anyway, that's a bit about me. How are you?
Perfect. Smooth closing, invites the other person in. It just flows, doesn't it? Sounds natural, personal, not rehearsed at all.
Totally. Okay, and then there were those final extra tips for really sounding native. First one was contractions.
Ah, yes, the little things that make a big difference.
Yeah.
Using I'm, I've, it's. Instead of I am, I have, it is.
It seems so basic, but it really does change the rhythm, doesn't it?
Huge difference. It's just how people actually talk. It makes your speech flow more smoothly, less formal, more natural instantly.
And the other one was phrasal verbs.
Right. Verbs like grew up, get into, work on, check out, based in, like we mentioned.
They're everywhere in spoken English.
They really are. And using them correctly makes you sound much less like you're translating in your head, you know?
Yeah.
More idiomatic, like using look up instead of always saying search for information.
Yeah, definitely sounds more natural. Okay, and the last tip, maybe the most important,
Confidence.
just own it, right? Even if your English isn't perfect.
Absolutely. Speak clearly, be willing to share your story. Honestly, confidence can sometimes smooth over minor grammar mistakes. People respond well to someone who seems comfortable.
That's really encouraging, actually. It's not about perfection, it's about connection.
Exactly.
Okay, so quick recap. For that natural intro, start casual with the greeting.
Weave in where you're from naturally.
Talk about what you do, but make it personal. Maybe share why you like it.
Add that specific personal detail, a hobby, something recent.
Use those little linking phrases to make it flow smoothly.
Don't forget contractions. And try to use phrasal verbs where they fit.
And above all, sound confident when you share your story.
You got it. That's the essence of it.
So the real key now is practice, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. You can't just know this stuff, you got to try it out. The source suggests actually trying to build your own intro using this structure.
Right, like greet casually, name and origin, work studies with a twist, personal detail, wrap it up.
Maybe even just say it out loud to yourself a few times. Get comfortable with the flow, the phrases.
Yeah, great idea.
Hmm.
So we really encourage you listening. Think about your current intro. Could you tweak it? Using these ideas, try writing it, try saying it.
See how it feels. See how it
And
sounds.
maybe this leaves us with a final thought to chew on.
Mm.
How might making these kinds of small, maybe seemingly minor, changes in how you first present yourself?
Mm.
How might that actually open doors to deeper, more genuine connections down the line?
Ooh, that's interesting. Because that first impression, that initial spark of connection, it really can set the stage for everything that follows, can it? Something to think about.